How to start a car wrapping business. Hello everybody, my name is Nate Jones and this is an episode of How to Business, where I review businesses and I tell you how you can start them. And in this business, I'm going to tell you how you can grow this business to $476,000 in 1 year. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you get value out of this business. So let's go into this. A car wrapping business. Contractors, businesses that have vehicles out on the road that want to use their vehicle as a marketing machine love having their vehicles wrapped. People with exotic cars, supercars, they love having their vehicles wrapped because, let's face it, they love their cars and they want everybody else to know how original their car is. So let's hop into this. We're going to go through how you can start this business and how you can make $476,000 a year. At the end, I'm going to go through the 476, so stay in there and let's talk about how you can understand to start this business. Okay, before you create an LLC, do any legal paperwork or anything, you need to ask yourself this. This is what I do for all my businesses. Me and my wife, we run businesses together, and the first thing we do when we evaluate a new business that we're going to start, the first thing we talk about is how can we bring in business? How can you make sales? In this business, how can you get people in the door that want their vehicle wrapped? How can you find the businesses? How can you find the exotic car owners, the supercar owners? How are you going to get those people to know who you are so you can do what you love to do, which is wrapping cars and making money to do it? So how do you bring that business in? You know, are you going to do it on the side at the beginning, build up a client base before you kind of go out on your own? Are you going to create a Facebook page, do marketing on Facebook, get your name out there? Are you going to create a website? I would suggest you create a website, put SEO on the website, which is search engine optimization, so it shows up on Google. Are you going to get a retail store on a busy highway so people drive by and they start to see your store out there? Are you going to be cold calling businesses? And a lot of my businesses, we've done a lot of cold calling at work. So you're going to be cold calling businesses to say, hey, you want a vehicle wrap? Are you going to be using Google Ads? You need to understand what's your sales strategy. And I can't explain what your sales strategy should be, but what I can tell you is you need to understand what do you like to do, because cold calling is offense, website design is more on the computer, but Google different strategies in which you can grow your business. You need to understand that you need to have a marketing plan of how you're going to bring in business. That's the most important thing, because you can have a great business idea, you can have all the tools, all the equipment, the best garage to do vehicle wraps, but if nobody comes in, you can't make money. So going into number 2 here, after you find a way in which you're going to bring in all that business, you need to legal up. What legal up means is you need to form an LLC. You need to get insurance. Full transparency, me and my wife, we own an insurance agency. If you need help with that, just reach out to me. I have a link on my bio. Customer contracts, you need to legal up. Most people skip this step because they're like, oh, I don't need to worry about it. I'll get an LLC later. You don't understand how you're exposing yourself by not having an LLC. That if you don't have an LLC, anybody, if you do something wrong or if you do something that's even negligent, they have an opportunity to go after your personal assets. You don't want people to go after your personal assets, because once you start making tons of money and you're rich in this business, you don't want somebody coming around who's going to try to steal everything from you. So you want to get an LLC. Insurance, it's for that unforeseen, unanticipated loss that you cannot pay for by yourself. You need insurance just in case something happens. Customer contracts, you got to hold your customers accountable and you got to hold yourself accountable. If something goes south, the contract is what is used in court. Always, you got to protect the ship. This is what I say, protect the ship. When you're going into battle and war, which is what business is, you got to protect the freaking ship. So protect the ship. Number 3, after you've done that and you're in the process of doing that, you need to create a budget for the equipment, the building lease. If you're leasing a building, if you're operating this out of your house, you know, it's a good thing to do to get started, keep those expenses low. A budget for marketing. You need to set a sales goal on how much you think you can achieve year 1. And what this is known as in the formal business world is the pro forma cash flow analysis. Pro forma is a fancy word for saying, hey, we're going to look 12 months into the future and we're going to say, what is our sales? What is our expenses? What are we going to net? And I'm going to show you how to do this on the $476,000 that I said you could do in this business real quick. But what you want to do is you want to say, what is going to be my cash flow? What am I going to make in this? What's a conservative sales goal? What's a high sales goal? You want to run this so you can say, okay, I'm budgeting. Where am I at compared to where I want to be? How are my expenses compared to where I anticipated them to be? You need to get into the numbers. Business is about the sales first. Can you make the sales? And the second thing that's going to put people in business or out of business is the numbers. They don't know how much money they have. They don't know how much is going out. They don't know anything. They're just operating out of their business bank account like they don't have no idea. You got to know your numbers. Okay, so let's break down the $476,000. How can you make $476,000 in this business? Okay, so I looked up how much does it cost per vehicle wrap, and I got a very wide number. I looked at so many websites. It was between $2,000 to $6,000. Okay, that's how much you can charge for a wrap. I put an average of $3,000. I know that it could be more, could be less. I used an average. Okay, and I said, how long does it take to do a vehicle wrap? It said on average between 6 to 9 hours, sometimes more. So I put on average, you're gonna have this vehicle for 2 days, okay? So an average wrap's that's gonna bring in revenue of $3,000, and it's gonna hold you up time-wise for 2 days. A lot of people don't understand the time aspect. You gotta get your time right so you can understand how much revenue you can bring in, because you might have to multiply people, which is what you're gonna have to do in this. $476,000, if we're getting $3,000 a wrap, we're gonna have to do about 40 wraps a month, okay? It's 39.6, but let's face it, we gotta do 40. So we're doing 40 wraps a month. One person who works 2 days, who takes 2 days to do a wrap, is gonna do about 3 wraps a week, right? Because it's 6 to 9 hours, so let's just say they do 3 wraps a week. So they're doing 12 wraps a month. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 weeks in a year, 3 wraps a week, 12 wraps in a month. So how many people do you need to hit 40 wraps in a month? Well, you need 3.33 people. So you're the business owner, you're gonna be working in this business at the beginning. Hopefully you scale to a point where you don't have to work into it, because that's the ultimate freedom. So you don't count, or you can count as a person, so you need 3 employees, right? You need 4 people, so one of them's you, you're gonna need 3 employees. So I said, okay, how much are we gonna pay these people? You know, this can be kind of a part-time, more of a kind of gig work, or it can be a full-time position, right? Let's say, just say an average salary of $40,000 a year. And I know that may be high, that may be low where you live, I don't know. But I said 40,000 times 3 employees is 120,000 a year, okay? So you're paying them 120,000 a year. So let's go through our expenses. This is what the pro forma is. We're going through our expenses here on a yearly basis so we can understand what we're gonna net from that 476, okay? Because as an owner, you don't take a salary at the beginning. Now, you can eventually turn the business into an S-Corp, you pay yourself a salary, you get dividends, whatever. But let's just say, hey, right now you're just paying the salaries, and anything left over is what you take. So you have $120,000 in salary. If you have a $1,500 a month garage lease, where you're doing if you're gonna have 3 employees, you're gonna need a garage lease. So that's about $1,500 a month, $18,000 a year, okay? And it's gonna cost you in your raw materials to do those wraps anywhere from around $200 if you buy them wholesale. If you're buying the vinyl, the stuff that you're using for the wrap, it's gonna cost you about $200, and it's gonna take about 158.8 wraps to get to 476,000. So if we do 200 times 159, that's put you at 31,800 that you're spending in wraps a year. And then I threw in an extra 10,000 for expenses. These are just random things that are unforeseen. So we get 120,000 in salary, 18,000 in shop, 31,800 in wraps, 10,000 in expenses. You're at $179,800 in expenses. And your revenue was 476,000, right? Because that's what we're trying to get to. So what do you net? You net $296,000 in profit. So running this business, you are profiting $296,000, almost 300 grand. If we take down some of the $10,000 expenses, you can make 300 grand net income in this business. That is a great number. It's a great number to live off of. That puts you, I believe, in the upper class, almost top 1% in America. And that's only having 3 employees. And is this doable the first year? I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. But you know, 296,000 in profit, you're probably leaving a little bit of cheddar on the table there, because you're probably gonna have to have a little bit of a marketing expense. But let's say you spend 90,000 in marketing, everybody's gonna know who you are. You still netted $200,000. This business is super profitable, and your biggest kind of fixed cost for you to scale this business is gonna be your employees. you're gonna need people working on those wraps and know what they do. So now retaining employees, because this work is kind of hard, is gonna be one challenge. But at the end of the day, if you pay your guys good and you take care of them, you know, there is not a shortage of great workers in this country. There's a shortage of workers who do not want to get underpaid. So if you pay people well, you will find good people that will work for you. So that's how you make $476,000. I have tons of other videos on my page about how to businesses, how to start businesses. I review businesses. I say, should you start those businesses? Would I start those businesses? I give them a score. And if you're looking for a business, you don't know which one to start, go check out my page and hit subscribe. Thank you.